This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor Jon Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
Technically speaking, yes, working longer could add more savings to your retirement plan. But is that really what we should be doing? Is it really?
I like the inflection you get right there.
You know, whenever you get real high decibel, lots of questions are added at the higher decibels.
Yes, I do.
This is Jon Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital. I'm Heather Branch here with John to ask for his opinions on is it worth it? Well, I'm going to let you make your points here. Let me make my point first, because there was this study, and I have the benefit of having these conversations with you weekly, monthly. So I have a perspective that I feel like a lot of Americans don't. And when I read something like this, my flags start to ping, 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 ping because of all the Jon Hicks. All the Jon Hicks voices in my head going, this doesn't sound like what they want it to sound like. This new study was done saying, if you just delay your retirement just by 1 year, you know, it could show a benefit of $100,000 to $200,000 over a 20-year retirement. But wait, there's more, because one more year working could also add income, healthcare benefits, more 401k matching. Hold on. Here comes the steak knives. It pushes off Medicare premiums. It increases your Social Security check. All of this said to you now, John, is it worth it?
That is probably one of the biggest questions, because I read these things all the time.
Sure.
The benefits of working a little longer, or the benefits of delaying taking your Social Security, or the benefits of delay.
Yeah.
Now, here's what it really comes down to in my thought process. When it comes down to, if you get the choice, because let's say you love your job, you don't have to retire, then what I would say is, well, if you don't have to retire, then why would you be retiring? It's not about what we're retiring from. It's what we're retiring to, right?
Yeah.
But every time I see these articles that say, hey, why don't you just delay? Here's my question. Who benefits the most from you delaying your retirement? Is it you? Because my thought is like, I don't know. I don't really know if it benefits any of my clients if I tell them to wait 1 more year. Now, it may give them a new sense of confidence that their plan may be a little bit more stable, but that's not how we plan. We're trying to figure out, what is the ultimate goal that you want to achieve? What is the least invasive way with the most security that we can get you there? And then how can we put a whole bunch of stop gaps and safety nets to ensure that if things go really wrong out there, we're protected? We know that we have your money protected. We know that the income stream is going to keep coming. We know that we're going to be tax efficient. We know if anything happens to one of that couple or happens to you, that we know where that money is going to go. And hopefully we have everything figured out to where if we have health concerns, we don't have to buy some expensive insurance plan to take care of it, right? Those are the things that we're solving for. So my question always to anyone is, do you want to work longer? Because anyone can, most people can, but the question is, should you want to? So let me tell you who benefits the most from you parlaying your retirement 1 more year. Potentially your current employer, but here's the big one. All of those big box brokerage firms and the banks and whoever, they get to hold on to your money a little bit longer. Now, that's just one piece. Now, here's the better piece for them. By you delaying your Social Security, they can be lazier. They can be less skilled, because what they're saying is, I don't have to have this retirement last as long, and I don't have to stress it by pulling too much out. If we just make these people wait a couple years, we won't even have to be that smart. We can put them in any of our junk that we put people in, and it will probably, using air quotes, work out, right? So what you do is you take a very low skill person and you give them some thing to say that benefits the entire system, at least those making money off of us, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I detest the laziness of that strategy. And I also get very aggravated when there's no skill set, because typically if someone wants to retire early, what they're really saying is, I am tired of working now, or before I am too old or too infirmed or too unhappy to do things. I want to do things now. Well, we call those work sabbaticals. Maybe that's a good opportunity for you to change your working environment. Or check this out. It means that we just want to front load retirement a few more years. So you can do some of those things in the front end while, frankly, you're the youngest and the healthiest you're ever going to be. But the big question that almost everyone asks, and they're all fearful about at all times, is, am I going to have enough money?
Right.
What I have found is that people that have saved well and understand their spending concerns, they almost all can retire earlier. And sometimes, guys, 3, 4, 5 years earlier, if they understand some concessions, just a handful.
Okay.
Sometimes it means that they're not doing a 21-day Mediterranean cruise at the same year that they're buying a lake house at the same time that they're going to renovate a condo for their oldest daughter. So if you just don't do it all at once and you space things out, and this is what tax planning and income planning is about, distribution planning, when you pull those monies out, if you do that correctly, you can add years to the back end of retirement. Years. That's not a joke. So whether you save money over time or you add years to the back end, most of it with skill doesn't require you to wait any longer. So my question always is to someone who says, hey, John, should I work another year? My whole question is the same thing every time. Do you want to? Because if the numbers work out, let's get you where you want and let you see. Here's what you say you wanted, and this can be built. Here's what we would do to make that happen. Now, here's the alternative, working one more year longer. Now, if we're going to work one more year longer, let's don't just work one more year longer. Let's be strategic. How much more can we save? How much more can we put in certain things? How can we diffuse some of those tax bills or some of those income structures so that we can benefit from those later? Let's just don't work one more year. Let's get very finite and let's get very granular about what we want to do in that 1 year, because that is going to be the best exercise ever for what it's going to be like when you do finally retire. And for a lot of people, after about 6 months of that, they're like, ooh, John, now I see what you're saying, dude. I'm going to be bored out of my mind if I retire early. I'm like, okay. So let's talk about a sabbatical. Do you just not like your current job? Do you not like the stress level? Do you not like the city you're living or working in? Are your grandkids growing up too fast and you just want more time? Let's figure out how we can do that in your current structure. Can we do that without you having to retire earlier or to give you the freedom that you want? And for a lot of people, it's when they've gone through that part of the process, those real life discussions, because I'd say almost everyone is very different, at least in the industry, compared to the way it is in our office. Anytime that someone comes into our office, one of the first things I ask is, hey, how's money going? If you had more income, would you spend it? Because you're going to get one of two types of people. One that says, no, John, we're saving money every month. Awesome. That means that you could probably retire earlier. Or you get the other side and say, John, if I had an extra $6,000, I knew exactly what I'd do with it. Okay. We just want to think about that, right? Because that goes into that decision-making process. But where most of the industry wants to hold on to our money the longest, I want our clients to have the happiest, most comfortable retirement that they want to live, no matter when that happens. Timing is kind of irrelevant as long as you're happy.
Timing is irrelevant, but it's not for those who haven't done the planning. I mean, timing is everything, and that's the difference. If you have that plan in place, if you have empowered yourself with the information, now you know the time frame that you're working with. At J. Hagan Capital, they are here to help you begin the planning, the timing, the many things that are involved. Visit us at retirementsolutionshow.com to start that conversation, John. I think that a lot of our focus, it tends to be, because most people they work for somebody, they work for an employer. So thinking about this working one more year mentality, what about, I mean, you are a business owner, you are self-employed. What about that group of people?
Yeah, so that's probably one of the most unique things, and what I focus a tremendous amount of attention on is going to business owners and those people that have built, structures that can frankly survive after they're gone, or do they have an exit strategy? What I've discovered is it will often take 1 to 3 years to properly divest yourself from your business.
Okay.
And here's the thing, you have no real business value if you are required to be in it. Basically, think about this. If basically my company ended without me being in it, would that company have any value?
Right.
Absolutely not. And for most of us, whether we own a strip mall and we have to try to get people to pay their rents, and we have to do all the plumbing work, and we have to repave the parking lots, and we have to fix all of the awnings that get broken, someone has to do all that work. So even if you just own a strip mall, the thing of it is that without you, what is the value of all that work that you've put in? For people that have built a business, a plumbing company, a contracting company, a manufacturing company, take your pick. The question is, will it operate without you? And can you still make money once you're gone? You don't always have to sell. Can you hire someone to replace the parts and elements of that business that you don't love, and still be able to thrive and go forward? I talk to business owners all the time, and the question is, how do we get them to the right exit strategy? Right? How do we get them in that certain spot where they realize, John, I really don't want to sell it. Maybe one of the kids will do it one day. But to be honest with you, I've built a $20 million company. I would like to cash out and get my 20 million. If the kids want to buy in, then that's great. How do I do that? Well, guys, that takes years. It takes between 1 and 3 years. Now, that doesn't mean it's always work for 1 to 3 years. Right. It means we just have to figure out some strategic things that will, no joke. We did the numbers and the research on this. You can increase your multiple, which is how much you get from selling your business, 3 to 5x. So if your company's worth $3 million today, with proper exit planning, it could be worth $9 to $12 to $15 million if you structure it correctly. And that's what takes time. Making sure that you are top of the food chain when it comes to what value you're creating for your clients. Are you priced right? Do you have a sales system that's replicable for other people? Do you actually have inventory systems and operational guidance that allows people to succeed after you're gone, or after your spouse finally retires, or after your kids no longer want to run the business? That's what creates value. So as we're kind of thinking through all these things, man, do I want to work one more year longer? If you're a business owner and you're within 3 years of considering entertaining an exit strategy, I would call out now.
Got it.
I would find out now, what are the steps you need to take? They're not always invasive, but you just have to have a real conversation so you can plan that framework of what you want to achieve. And I'm not joking. 3 times business valuations is the standard in this current economy that we're in right now. And that is life-changing if you think about it.
Got it. Helping you to create a time frame for leaving the company you've been working for or leaving the company you've been building. It's all part of the planning process at J. Hagan Capital that they can help you with. So start that conversation. As Jon was saying, it's not an invasive process. It's an initial process. Find out what your goals are to help you begin discovering this timeline that you're working with, putting that timeline in place, putting the plan into action. RetirementSolutionShow.com is where to start that conversation with Jon and his team. We also have links posted in the show notes, working to empower you with the information. Can you retire today? Even if you want to keep working, great. But just having that information, it's such a confidence booster as you are getting closer to retirement. So let's start. Visit us at RetirementSolutionShow.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with Jon Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with Jon and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting retirementsolutionradio.com. Be sure to listen to Jon's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through J. Hagan Capital, LLC, NPN number 1882794.